Alright, game we're talking about today is, just to start out, I'm really tired of people lauding over, like, on the internet and people that I talk to. Not to ruin the review right off the bat, but, talking about Shadows over Camelot. It's a 3 to 7 player game, published by Days of Wonder. Man, was I really looking forward to this game. Like, purchased it, was ready to play way before I even got it, and was really excited. Components. I was really happy to see that there was a lot of miniatures, which is great. I like having miniatures. The catapults are really cool. I like that a lot. But the miniatures are not good, which is fine. It's a board game. They don't have to be great. Not a tabletop, or sorry, not a miniatures game, but come on, like, give me so many models and then just make them meh. Nah, I just don't like that. And they're really big when they don't need to be, which I guess that's not terrible, but and then the paint on the bases, it just looks bad. I just don't like them. And then the art on the cards and on the board, there's a lot of art, but it's not great art. I haven't played a lot of Days of Wonder's games, but just like box art, it looks like Days of Wonder has kind of meh art, or at least not my style. And the life dice. I don't need a die to track my life. I don't know. That's just really, really, really minor nitpick. I just don't like it. I can't. Probably tokens would have been better for me, just because there's so little life. You know, anywhere between 1 to 6 life. You start with 4. I didn't need a die and a little space on my card to put it on. I just thought that was a bit much. However, I do really like the cards themselves that show the picture of the knight and has a really nice reference sheet on it. That's really cool. For gameplay, I would almost say that the gameplay is simple in quasi-good, quasi-bad way. It's simple enough to explain to somebody really quick. That's cool. And then the drop-in, drop-out mechanic is cool. We haven't done it yet, but I'm glad it's there. That was one of the big things that I wanted to get it for, was because it had that. The potential of a trader I like more than an A trader. The game is pretty much unplayable without a trader. Like, if you just know there's no trader whatsoever, but I like the idea of having a potential of a trader more so than just a game with a trader. Because with a game, knowing you have a trader, you know there's actually somebody actively working against you, but with the potential of a trader, you could be wrong. It's a very minute chance, but I really like that. It adds like an extra layer of that fear, and I want to see that in more games. It's very cool. The different characters, all the different character abilities, love that. I love that in every game. Keep going. All the different characters are a lot different, so that's very cool. I'll talk about more later, but the quests, when you finish them, most of them, they flip the board and then they just don't appear anymore. Cool idea. On paper, great idea. Execution, absolutely terrible in game breaking. Just horrible. And I'll talk about that more later. The rules. I like the rule book. I'll give the rules a 9. The rule book is really good. Everything's in there. I didn't have any questions on anything. A lot of diagrams, which I love diagrams, but oh man, is that book long-winded. A lot of reading just to get very simple concepts. They really teach you how to play a straight. I don't know. It's just, I thought it was a bit much, and why I didn't give it a 10 is just not game breaking, or I guess rules breaking, but just so long, and 2 books, and it's just like, ugh. Alright, the fun. I give fun a 3. It's Knights of Camelot, so that's automatically cool. I'm down with that. Though my background in Knights of Camelot's not huge, I know enough to be like, hey, that's pretty awesome. Trader. Any game with a trader function that does it well, I haven't seen a game with a trader function that doesn't do it well, I like. However, The actual going through quest and everything that is done through quest, none of them are fun. I don't like any of the quest actions. Nothing is fun. And if anything, things like the Grail or Excalibur is just frustrating. It's not fun at all. Nothing is in that game is fun. I don't have a moment of fun in that game. The fun is I get to look at models, and it's Knights of Camelot. Like, to me, and then thinking who might be the traitor, who's playing well. Like, I kind of attribute it to a game of narrating a game of werewolves, that I have fun narrating werewolves because I like to see how everybody does things. If they're a werewolf, if they're not a werewolf, how do people act? That's where basically all the fun comes from this. The game itself is so boring. Do a bad thing, play a good thing, next. Terrible, terrible, terrible mechanics. No game to be had, really. Didn't even need a board. Could have cut the cost of this game in half by just doing tokens or cards. Back to when you complete a quest. The game here, this is where I think the game is completely broken and almost unplayable, is because when you complete a quest, when it flips, generally when a quest does flip, it gives, every time that card comes out, it turns into a siege engine. So that means for completing a quest in your favor, you get the promise of more siege engines. If you lose a quest, you get the promise of more siege engines. So then it seems like the tactic is to complete nothing that flips. Don't ever get anything that flips. Which just is terrible. I mean, I guess that kind of moves into the theme of, like, you never get the Grail, you never get the Sword of Excalibur, but holy crap. Especially if you get people who, like, do it real fast, you join up together, grab it. That not only allows the traitor to do it, but even if you don't play with the traitor, it's almost impossible to fight back all those siege engines if they just keep dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping every turn. It's just, oh my god, I don't like it at all, if you couldn't tell. Complexity, I'd probably say mid-range. I think a lot of the complexity comes from just all the different things going on. If you explain them one at a time, it's not difficult to get through, it's just dealing with them. Game length. Not a long game, maybe hour and a half, but it feels like you're playing for 3 or 4 hours because it's so boring and it takes forever to get back to your turn. And there's literally nothing to do in between, and there's no point in conversating because the rules tell you not to. You can't talk about what's in your hand. And you end up just having the whole team talking in code, like, we can't let the refs find out, but, it's just not a good game. I don't like this game. It's got a lot of good spots in it. Reference rules and components are okay, but just never had an ounce of fun in this game. Other than one fact, being myself, the traitor, as King Arthur, and tricking everybody for the entire game to give me all their cards and then divvying them out to people with the wrong quest. So the only time that I had fun was ruining the game for everybody else. And it wasn't even fun in the game, it was just their reactions after the game. And that's it. Sorry if you like the game, but page is called Cynical Bastard. Badger. Cynical Badger. Freudian slip there. Cynical Badger. So, I'm assuming you didn't come here for all good reviews. I know a couple of them have been good in the past, but thanks for watching. Comment below if you disagree with me, or if you agree. And thanks for watching.